corrections to the minutes? Okay, those stand approved as submitted. We don't have anything scheduled for number 4, visitors and delegations. Is there anyone that would like to citizen comment tonight? Okay, moving on. 5, management, we have none. 6, finance.
I move we approve the city expenditures from October 22nd to November 5th, 2018, totaling $204,144.36.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion, second, discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 5B, resolution number 2018-19, supplemental budget for 2018. Joanne.
Before you this evening, you have resolution number 2018-19. It's a resolution appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of amounts budgeted for the city of Brush. In 2018, I have 2 funds that I'm going to have to supplemental budget. The one is normally one we always have. It's from Joslyn Needham. At the time we do our annual budget and did our annual budget in 2017, we did not know if we would be receiving anything from Joslyn Needham and not sure how much we would be receiving. We did receive $347,170 from them, and so I need to budget do a supplemental budget for that fund. And also on our fire equipment and building improvement fund, one of the things that we forgot to put in last year's budget was the building lease on that building for our vehicles to be housed. And then there was some additional expenses on the building improvements of $37,500. So before you have this evening, this resolution for approval.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve or deny the supplemental budget?
I move we approve resolution number 2018-19.
We have a motion to approve.
The second.
Have a second? Discussion? Once again, this supplemental budget, I think, really shows how much the foundation helps us. I think you said $347,000, so thanks to them once again for all they do for the city of Brush. Is there any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, also under Finance C, budget retreat on Wednesday, November 14th. For council's consideration, we'd like to have a motion for the start time of that meeting. I think we had on our agenda either 5:30 or 6 p.m. So we need to get an indication from council how they feel about the time.
I move for 5:30 myself.
5:30?
5:30.
Okay, Marlene?
It's fine.
Okay,
We typically run about 3 hours, 3.5.
right, so if we can get started earlier, I think. I don't know if we require a motion for that, Bo?
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but I don't think it's,
Okay, let's
Something
go
that
ahead and go through the
requires an
process.
action.
Do we have a motion?
I did make the motion.
You did make the motion second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, 5:30 it is.
And one thing just for administrative note is we'll have some food there, so it'll be a light meal that we'll provide or heavy appetizer or something like that. And it starts at 5:30. It's gonna be a working while we eat type situation. So if you wanna get here in a few minutes earlier than that 5:30 time and grab your plate and be just ready to go. And we've just done that over the years, made it a little more streamlined and work while we have a meal.
Okay, moving on to 7, staff reports. Joanne?
Just one item, wanted to let the council know that the budget retreat books will be delivered to you on Friday.
Okay, that's it?
That's it.
Okay, police department, Corey.
Just one quick note, it was mentioned in council a month or so ago, a couple months ago actually, about body cams for all officers. We do now, all officers are equipped with a body cam at this time.
Oh, great, okay,
So
thank you.
what's the policy? Are you gonna, as needed, or are they required to be on a whole shift, or?
It's an as needed. There was also already a policy in place, so it's as needed. Number one, the data would be an issue, and officers have private time like meals, restroom breaks, whatever, so it's as needed. It's pretty much depicted as case laws stated so far, covering parts that they would need. Officer to officer is usually not in that and stuff, so.
Thank you, Clay.
So, before you go on, are you wearing one now?
I am right now, yeah.
How difficult is it to run it, start it up, shut it off?
Keeping in mind, I am horrible with electronics. But these are actually really simple, and I leave mine off most of the time. It's just a simple on, hold the button, it comes on, and then just a quick play. These are also equipped to where they can do just audio recording and/or we can use them as a regular photography camera, just taking pictures as we need to. The resolution is really good. These download real well for the supervisor who are responsible for them. And so, good deal for us, so.
So each officer has his own,
Each officer's been assigned one.
do we have any extras in case one were to go down, or?
We do, when we started to go through this process, the ones that we told council then that we'd purchased a few, that company allowed us a trade-in on those. I don't have the figures in my mind right now, but they allowed us a trade-in and then let us keep them. So we have extra body cams. They're a little different than this style, same company, but we do have extra ones just in case something else is happening, we need to grab an extra body cam, and/or if something goes wrong with the line.
Okay,
So,
all right, thank you. City Clerk, Andrea.
Yes. On your desk is a calendar of events, and next Monday, City Hall is closed for Veterans Day. On the 14th of November at 5:30 is the budget retreat for City Council. And then city offices will be closed November 22nd and 23rd for Thanksgiving. And our next regular council meeting will be the 26th. And the special election on December 11th will be advertised in the Brush News Tribune. And if anyone would like an absentee ballot, those applications are available in my office.
Okay.
So,
City Administrator, Monty.
Okay, 2 items. One is the letter that you have in front of you from the Brush Rural Fire Protection District. That's a letter just demonstrating, what their commitments are for the upcoming 2 years, almost 3 years, as far as purchases for equipment. We've been trying to work with them on splitting costs fairly equitably, and so almost everything there is 50-50 splits. And then there is, in 2021, a rescue unit that they're committing to a 1/3 program, where 1/3 comes from the city, 1/3 comes from the district, and 1/3 from the volunteers from the fire department. But working with them has been really good for the last year. And Joanne's also working the finer details on the lease purchase agreement on the building for them to pay for their share of the new fire department building. And probably in the next 30 days, you'll see something, council will see some information on that. Other item is the
Wait,
search.
Monty, before you go on, what about the last item on there?
The Training Center?
No, the
UTVs.
UTVs.
Yeah, in our meeting, we talked about those a little bit, and the purpose for those was for snow removal. And we talked to our Public Works and our Parks Department, and we were always under the impression that we did that as part of our snow removal in the mornings or nights whenever it snowed. Our crews would go out there. So we think there might be a miscommunication issue there. So Del Colrick was gonna visit with Dwight Anderson and Lance Schwint and just verify who's gonna be doing the snow removal. It's only a handful of times a year that you really need to do heavy snow removal there. And it was always our emergency route. So whenever big snows come up, it was, first thing they do was hospital and the ambulance barn and the fire department building. Then they went on to the school routes and then the major roads. So we're not sure why this last year that it didn't happen, but we're looking into that.
Yeah, and I know from the fire department's personnel, their perspective, if we are doing it, then it needs to be a priority, certainly for their roads, to get them out if they need to.
Sometimes came to me, and I've been thinking about this in the back of my mind anyway, but sometimes I think it's very helpful for Tad or somebody from the fire department to be here once in a while. When I first started on council, we had a full room of our department heads, including Tad. Steve Jones never used to come in, but I even think that it would be nice if Steve Jones would come in once in a while, so we're all on the same page about all of this. And sometimes things happen like that, I think, because of lack of communication. That's just my 2 cents about why the snow removal got
Okay, you have other,
dropped.
Yeah, the other item I had was the police chief and hiring for a new police chief. And we did send out a conditional offer to Derek Boss. And Derek Boss is out of the Colorado Springs area and also the Salida area. And keeping in mind that this went through a public process where we had a community panel, we had a police chief's panel, and a staff meet and greet, and then an interview with the city administrator. That was the process that we used in selection. And that conditional offer's out, and then Loranda now is finalizing all the finer details, the employment physical that he has to go through, the psychological test, the integrity test, and the background investigation, which also includes educational verification and reference checks. And right now, we're targeting for the 26th of November or the 2nd of December to have a swearing-in ceremony. And we don't, he's already been through most of those tests, and we've got all good comments back, so we don't think there's gonna be an issue. That should all be finalized in the next few days, though. And so, depending on his schedule and what we have on the next 2 agendas, we'll set that up for a swearing-in ceremony where the mayor swears in the police chief.
okay,
Yeah, a comment, but not in regards to the new police chief, but in regards to new officers. We used to have officers come in and be introduced to the council as they come aboard, and I don't see that happening any longer. Is there, it's something we could
yeah,
get in place again?
Yeah,
I think
Sure.
that's a good idea.
easy.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to council reports. Are there any council reports?
I'll report on the Partnering for Progress meeting that I went to. And you guys were there.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really good, and there was, really good information from the school district, from, Dr. Wilson on childcare in the city, and thought that was really helpful, that they're actually, the school's kind of taking that on as a responsibility to
Yeah,
figure out a way to provide childcare. And the housing, I thought the housing report was, I mean, even though we've only built 30 houses or something, but that's, I thought it was pretty promising, but it was a really good meeting, and I think we're all moving in the right direction. I like those meetings, having everybody from all the different areas of the city kind of coming together on the same page. And
yeah, I hope we continue that. They're tough problems, the housing and the childcare, very tough issues to solve. And I like the idea the school district have of moving those pods over that they were having at Thompson Primary, to be able to hopefully use those in the future, even if it's only for school teachers' children. That may open up a few spots in town for other people to get childcare. And one of the things we've done at the stakeholder meeting, we brought in Mary Gross, who helped the different entities understand that the goal is to try to get more people interested in getting licensed and having daycares, but how you go about setting that up is kind of a private thing, you know, it's how many people are interested in doing that. But hopefully, these meetings, if we keep meeting, it seems like there's always good ideas that come out of these meetings, and hopefully we move forward with this. So it really was a good meeting. Any other council reports? Okay. Moving on to 8B. Entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of the city administrator's evaluation.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Second?
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have this executive session in the conference room, so we'll
Question just for you, are we gonna reconvene and then go out for? we have to do
Yeah,
both?
we'll reconvene for the
Okay.
second executive session.
Okay, we're on the record.
Okay, if everybody turn your microphones back on, we'll go. Okay, the time is now 7:08. And the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were Mayor Rick Bain, Councilors Janine Anderson, Marlene Baker, Dan Scalisi, Dana Sherman, and City Administrator Monty Torres. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into executive session occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for action.
I got stuck with the paper.
Oh, okay.
She grabbed it. You'll learn.
I'm the only one down here. So I move that, I don't know how to do this part. So are we making a motion on the request? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay. Two of them. We're gonna make motion, I'm gonna make a motion on two of them. The compensation one, we're not gonna do on this part right now. So I move that we make a motion for action. Is that what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm new.
Fine.
As far as the support and flexibility for the work schedule for the military duties, we agreed to support those, requesting a calendar of some sort at the beginning of each month, kind of giving us an idea of where you're at, just so that we have a way to respond when people approach us. And I also move that we keep the vehicle allowance at $400 a month for in the county, and reimburse mileage outside the county.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. Andrew, roll call vote.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
So can I ask again, the motion was to support the flexibility in the military duties and a calendar each month, and then the vehicle allowance of $400 per month and reimburse mileage out of county? Is that right?
Or use the travel card. Yeah.
Or out of city or county?
County.
Okay.
So that's to leave it at the 400, just for
Yes.
clarification, okay.
Okay, on the second item, we want to make a motion for that?
On the second item, I move that we put that off until the budget retreat, and we will, to do the compensation increase at whatever level we decide for the rest of the employees as well.
Okay,
Second.
motion and second. Any discussion?
We're moving to not move.
I take that.
Well, yeah,
Same as last year. I get it, it's fine.
yeah, and I think the discussion centered around Monty on that is that we wanted to look and see at the budget retreat what compensation we're considering for all the employees, and the council wanted to look at those before we make a decision on this, so.
Gotcha.
we'll make a decision at that time.
So
Okay.
good to not make a decision right now.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We had discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Anderson.
Yes.
Counselor Baker.
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi.
Yes.
Counselor Sherman.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes that one. Okay, it's November 5th. The time is 7:12 PM. For the record, I am the presiding officer, Mayor Rick Bain, as required by the open meetings law. This executive session, let's see. Wait a second. Okay, hold up. I need
I move,
a motion to move that we go into
Yeah.
executive session.
I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of the city clerk's evaluation.
Okay, we have a motion?
A second.
We have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay,
Okay.
now that we have that.
Yeah, I go to Goodwill, that's where I go.
You get a lot of goodwill from
I've got a lot of goodwill there, yeah. Thank you, kind sir. Dan, what a gentleman, I tell you. He is, and he's just showing off.
Yeah,
You ready?
Still going?
that's my deal.
Okay. Okay, the time is now 7:34. And the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were Mayor Rick Bain, Councilors Janine Anderson, Marlene Baker, Dan Scalisi, Dana Sherman, and City Clerk Andrea Strand. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into the executive session occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion. Well, actually, we don't have requests from you at this time, so we don't have a reason
No
for that.
action needed.
Okay. And is there anything else? Okay, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Okay, we are.